Jason Lee Podcast.
Welcome back to an all-new episode of the Jason Lee Podcast. Oh, I love this show. This is the show that gets you all through your week because it ends up trending all over social media. And you know, unlike a lot of other content creators, we don't even try to go viral. We're simply just doing the Lord's work. Listen, welcome back to the show. This has been an interesting week. I did say, hey, TikTok, make it go viral or whatever. Y'all did your thing. Shout out to everybody on TikTok that continues to share all the clips of the Jason Lee Podcast and Jason Lee Show. We are ramping up for season 3 of the Jason Lee Show. We have been in production. Marina's back. Rob is here. We're all locked in and loaded. And it's just a matter of getting through this election. And while doing that, getting some interviews underway. We start next week. I'm not even going to tell you who the guest is, but we are back. And it's going to be a bigger season than ever. And we'll be announcing soon what network we're going to. Not yet. You're going to have to tune in to see that. All right. I will say I've been looking at stuff on TV and watching movies and documentaries. I watch Monsters. By the way, Rob is in love with Monsters because of the nude scene. I just saw recently the guy who was in the shower came out and said that wasn't a fake.
There was no prosthetic.
Yeah, there was no prosthetic.
Yeah.
Well, none of us were on set. How do we know that?
I mean, I believe him.
Well, here's my question. Would you date somebody that was nude on camera?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, there was that one OnlyFans. No, really?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't want to walk in a room and everybody knows like what's walking in with me.
Well, again, we are in the age of OnlyFans, so a lot of people, we walk in the room, we see a lot of people and their stuff is all over the internet already.
Well, it's funny, when I first ran for city council, they tried to say I was an OnlyFans model back in Stockton because I took a photo where I was like enjoying the fact that I have a shape now that's not oval, you know? And then they said I was an OnlyFans owner, which is OnlyFans is worth $18 billion. I wouldn't be running for city council if I was worth $18 billion. But what's different between an OnlyFans model and that guy in the Netflix film who was nude? What's the difference?
The difference is he's not getting paid for his nudity.
He got paid and he was nude.
Let me explain the difference of what I'm saying. He's not being paid specifically for his nudity, but his nudity is being used as a part of the progression of a piece of art. It's different.
Have you not seen some OnlyFans creators? I've seen a lot of art on OnlyFans.
But again, that is created for the sole purpose of your sexual pleasure, which is fine because sex work is fine.
How many times did you watch that shower scene?
Once.
Rob.
Did I only watch it once?
We sent you.
I only watched it once.
But you zoomed into the screenshot.
Rob, I've known
times.
you for almost 20 years. You did not watch that scene. I'm sure you took scrupulous notes. As an actor.
Oh God.
So you watched it one time?
One time. I only watched that scene.
Put that on Regina.
First of all,
that's his mom.
I've only watched the scene in the show one time. Yes, I did see a clip online when I was showing someone else, but I've not watched it over and over again.
Okay.
But how many times did you reference the photo? A lot.
Just once. No.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, when he came out and said, "Oh, it was not a prosthetic," I was like, "Let me look again." Even though you can't tell.
By looking at that scene, do you think he's a big actor?
He's becoming a big actor.
Okay. Well, congratulations to all of you. Speaking of the Menendez brothers, I think they're going to let them out of prison. The family is now advocating for the release. Kim Kardashian is out advocating for their release. And we all know what Kimmy wants, Kimmy gets. By the way, every time I go somewhere, Starbucks or wherever, all of you keep coming up to me saying, we love how you talk shit about the Kardashians. I don't hate the Kardashians. I just think they're plastic and talentless, but nonetheless successful. And now at least she's using her platform to get people out of prison. By the way, Khloe got her cheek fillers taken out. Did you see that? She had a whole dent and everything. So now I'm texting my dermatologist because I got cheek fillers too. What happens if they take mine out?
They move around, right?
Yeah.
Mine don't move. But also, I was watching. There's a really good thing on Netflix, and I'm not getting paid to say this. I'm telling you all, go watch Monsters with the Menendez brothers. It is riveting for sure. I watched the whole series in one day, like Baby Reindeer. But also, I watched the whole Vince McMahon and WWE documentary. So riveting. All these years, I was a World Wrestling fan back, from a kid. I never really looked at Vince McMahon as a character, as a wrestler.
Yeah.
I looked at him like he the owner.
Yeah.
So he'd pop out here. He's like the spine of the whole organization. But when you go and look at his story, I mean, I love watching documentaries like that, not just for the entertainment of it all, but watching a boss who has a vision, who then builds this vision into this huge thing, and then dealing with the competition and the takeover, and then go watch it. He also had to sell it because he got in trouble for being a sexual predator.
Allegedly.
Like Diddy.
Allegedly.
I don't know what was going on in the 90s, but go take a look at that. But here's another one that I fell in love with that I have to tell you right now. And I have a new person who I'm pursuing. Not sexually. God, why is everybody so caught up in like sex?
I was just saying this is not a new
sex.
person. I already knew this was a
Well,
thing.
it ain't sexual or relationship wise. I mean, yes, Jason Tatum is beautiful. And yes, I follow him. And yes, if he was to leave LMA, I mean, he ain't claimed the baby yet, but
They don't even follow each other on Instagram.
he don't even let her speak when they pass that camera by and she being pregnant in the hallway. He don't even let the camera catch her for too long. And I love LMA. I love LMA. LMA, you know I love you. I've told you many times to your face, but you got that fine ass man, and he ain't claiming you, and he done put the baby in you, and I don't know, maybe less is more. Well, Jason Tatum is by far an inspiring figure in the NBA and one of the most beautiful. Kelly Oubre, you have nothing on Jason Tatum, just by the way. But no, I follow Jason Tatum. I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of his story. I like the fact that he was an underdog and people told him that he would never be a real legacy player unless he had a champion. Then he went and won the champion. Then he went over to the Olympics. Well, I watched the starting five, and it's on Netflix, and LeBron produced it. The person that I'm pursuing now is Savannah James. I like Savannah James. This is the photo work right there. Savannah James is LeBron James' wife. Mm-hmm. Now, I know she ratchet because she's from the hood. She's not ghetto. She ratchet. I saw her one time. I'll never forget. We were at Jerry Lorenzo's Fear of God fashion show, and she was sitting behind me. I think she was with Lauren London and some other people. And I remember looking up and I was like, hey, and she was like this. That was our moment where, Savannah, we connected. You have a podcast. I am offering to come on your podcast and answer whatever questions you want. I will be in your hot seat because I'm enjoying the fact that you are using your voice to show us that you are still that girl and that you are not an industry chick who's, no shade to the other basketball wives who, don't have the spotlight like you do and whatever. You are, I like that everybody that likes you is like that real homegrown, gritty chick. I want to come sit in the seat. I like her podcast, and she's having real conversations. And I know LeBron is somewhere saying, "Can you please just put the podcast away?" But even watching them together with him playing the video game and her, I don't know. You got to watch it. Starting five, it's a good show. LeBron produced it. Shout out to Maverick and all of them over there doing their thing because they're expanding the brand. And shout out to Floyd Mayweather, also a friend of mine who just, as you know, came to Stockton, California to show love for me. We just wrote a story on Hollywood Unlocked where Floyd is investing somewhere of $400-something million into housing, which is exactly aligned with what I'm doing in Stockton. Yep. So we might just get the champ out there in Stockton to invest. All right. So it's literally less than 20 days away from the election. Everybody's going crazy around the world, waiting to see who our next leader at the top of the ballots are going to be, whether it's going to be Trump or Kamala. I'm looking at Stockton, California, because I will be elected as the next city councilman for District 6. This has been a very wild ride. It has been an exciting year. Now I'm out fighting off the politics of my opponent because, she be lying. And that's the thing that I would find interesting. A lot of people, when I first started running, said, do not run as a politician. And so I've used this social experiment to really grow into what being a political figure is going to be like while still maintaining a very much of a personal disposition with the people. I am a person. I am a advocate. I'm a public servant. I am not going to be a politician for any of the reasons that all of us hate politicians. And so the other day I had to go and participate in an event with all the elected officials and all the people who are running. And I was sitting there, in my suit, looking like a lot of them, and found myself really like It's almost like, you know how you just want to go home and take a shower? It was that, because I felt a lot of people that were standing up there were saying the same stuff when I know damn well those that have already been there haven't done the work. And those that are coming into office, I don't know all of their intentions or what resources they have to do it. I know what I have, but then again, they're probably looking at me the same. I just think it's the political process that makes us all as individuals feel like people are full of crap. Well, regardless of how you feel, you have to vote. You have to vote. Every vote matters, and this is the political year of all years. You know, what happens on a national level is going to affect a lot of things, but also what happens in your community is really important. In Stockton, District 6, please vote for me and Christina Fugazi. And we just had them on the podcast last week, so if you missed that, go take a look at it. If you're in the Stockton area, if you're even around the Stockton area and you know people in Stockton, go get that clip and send it out to everybody. And if you're on TikTok, put it on TikTok too. All right, what a week it's been. You know, there's so much that I want to say, but I won't say. And I want to tell you why. Because what I have learned in this journey of becoming the king of the internet or the voice of the culture, or, you know, in many ways, Hollywood and like being the pulse of pop culture, is silence is the best way to make your haters feel it. You know, like just to not say anything. What I will say is I had this moment where I was thinking about addressing something here just for the sake of getting the internet going. But I remember why I do this. I don't do this just to go viral anymore. Like when I first started, I think I, you know, used to love going viral and wanted to go viral. But for the most part, everything we went viral for, we stayed true to who we were as a brand. And I think just doing that, and also wanting to spend more time thanking all of the people that show up for Hollywood Unlocked, that love what we do, that love me and support me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We continue to do this for all of you. All right, so I'm going to just spare everybody all the teas and just get straight to the tea with Jason Lee. All right, with less than 20 days away from the election, as I just mentioned, we know that all eyes are on these two, Donnie and Kamala. Let me tell you, there's been a lot going on. Kamala Harris, since taking over for the Democrats, has dominated the airwaves and the media for several weeks now. And I know that it is driving Donnie purely crazy. Well, what I love about her campaign is that when she came out, she was very strategic about how she was going to move. Everybody said she needed to do interviews. Even I said she needed to do interviews. She needed to do interviews. And I said she needs to do interviews with the culture. And she's been doing it. So I have to be fair and give Kamala credit where credit is due. But it's also interesting that no matter what she does, it's never enough. So part of me is thinking, is it because she's a woman? Because I think there's a lot to do with that. Is it because she's a black woman? Because all y'all want to protect black women until it came to this black woman. But, well, she ain't black. Well, she just found out she black. That's what he said. You've been allowing him to attack a black woman right in your face, and it's been okay because it's the vice president. I'm confused what we stand on these days, but then again, so are a lot of you. Kamala has done everything she's supposed to do with what she was given, and she's been doing it extremely well. And there's obviously no other choice in this campaign or in this competition than Kamala Harris. I mean, I have my issues with Kamala's administration, not necessarily with her, but her administration. But I'm not dumb to say that I think that this is literally the beacon of hope when it comes to preserving democracy. And I'll share with you why, okay? Because we're only 3 weeks away from the 2024 presidential election. And while Kamala Harris is, you know, out here on the campaign trail doing her thing, she's on her mission to acquire a lot of the swing voters. Now, Donald Trump is starting to unravel right before our eyes, with some even speculating that he's showing signs of dementia. Imagine that. Or accelerating cognitive decline. It's interesting when the shoe's on the other foot that the rules don't apply. The same way he wanted to have Joe Biden examined, he's refusing to release his medical records. And now that he's the oldest candidate in the fight, he don't want to have the same conversation he was having before. You know, it's the whole bait and switch thing. But, you know, some of y'all only care about the STEMI. We're going to get to that. Now, if you don't believe me, let's take a look at some of the recent events that we've seen over the last week. Now, at his rally in Detroit, Michigan, Trump told Detroit voters that if Harris is elected president, she'll turn our country into Detroit. Don't believe me? Listen.
They should be much higher than that, but that's up for whoever is going to be a next president. I think Kamala, it's not going to be high on her list. I don't think anything that we're talking about today is high on her list. The whole country is going to be like, you want to know the truth? It'll be like Detroit. Our whole country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president. You're going to have a mess on your hands. She destroyed San Francisco. She destroyed, along with Newsom, California. And we're not going to let her do that to this country. We're not going to let it happen.
Kamala hasn't been in San Francisco in years, just so we're clear. When she was a senator, yes, but as the vice president, she hasn't been there in the last 4 years. She hasn't been the DA of San Francisco in years, or the attorney general for California, but, of course, just blame her. What happened to San Francisco when you were the president? Because he was just the president 4 years ago, but we'll get to that too. It's interesting how he could be in Michigan and just disrespect Detroit right in your face. Because if you're a Californian, right? LA, Stockton, wherever you're from, we are California. Yeah, we represent our state. So it's, the fact that he is disrespecting Detroit is pretty interesting. Social media then said that Dementia Don struck again when he forgot Election Day and urged his supporters at a Pennsylvania rally to vote for him on January 5th. Don't believe me? Listen.
If everything works out, if everybody gets out and votes on January 5th or before, it used to be you'd have a date. Today you can vote 2 months before, probably 3 months after. They don't know what the hell they're doing. But we're going to straighten it all out. We're going to straighten that out, too. We're going to straighten our election process out, too. That's going to be important also.
He's going to straighten it out because he's going to turn it into a... what you call
dictatorship.
That? A dictatorship. Well, who needs an election? It's too complicated. And if these examples weren't loud enough, perhaps Trump standing and swaying the music for over 40 minutes straight might make you wonder, what's up with Donnie? Even the vice president said that she hopes he's okay. I'm going to show you a little 28-second clip of him swaying, because if we go any longer, not only will we burn brain cells, but we'll probably lose our YouTube page. Take a look.
Sir, do you want to play your song and then greet a few people, or do you want to? Well, you had said you wanted to close with a specific song.
Can you imagine you're getting hit from the back and that's behind you? Ouch. Well, Trump is losing his grip on the election. Now, the Apprentice alum Omarosa even denounced him. She was the White House leader for Black Americans or something like that. Well, she officially endorsed Kamala Harris. Not that any of you care. Here's what she told Variety. Basically, anyone observing Donald Trump and even taking a moment to compare from 2016 and now, what becomes apparent and what's happening with Donald is that he has limited vocabulary, he rambles, and he tends to pull things out of nowhere. Well, we know that, Omarosa. In an interview with the Bustin' It With the Boys, Trump was busting it open. When he was asked if he ever played sports, he responded, but seemingly used a racist comment while doing so. Take a listen.
Football, too. I didn't particularly like it.
What position were you?
No, I didn't like it. I played tight end.
Yeah? Can block,
and I
can
didn't
catch
like,
the whole thing.
You had some hands?
We got Delaney Walker
I
behind.
could catch the ball good, but I didn't particularly like having some guy that was lifting weights all day long and came from a bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he sees me and they were tackling hard.
He be playing right in y'all faces, but what do I know? Now, while Donald Trump is out here playing in black folks' faces, like I said, Vice President Kamala Harris is trying to empower black voters, and former President Barack Obama is helping her do so. Ahead of a rally in Pittsburgh, Obama issued a PSA to black men on the fence. Now, I ain't gonna lie, Obama, they had a lot to say about your comments too, but I'm gonna let you hear it. Take a listen.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you. Because you think that's a sign of strength? Because that's what being a man is? Putting women down? That's not acceptable.
Well, I hear it, and people felt that what Obama said was that, you know, if you're a black man, and you're basically shaming black men if they vote for Donald Trump. It's similar to when Obama said on the Breakfast Club with Charlamagne that if you vote for Trump, you ain't black. You know, you can't shame us into supporting this idea of democracy when people don't feel like they're not being heard. And also when people can't afford to feed their families or pay for their rent, and homelessness is crazy and crime is rampant and kids are still getting killed in schools. Like, none of the people that I know, younger folks, you know, in their early 20s or early 30s, believe that government is even working anymore. You know, we live in a very wicked world right now, and a lot of us are frustrated. Now, I am somebody 47 years old. I voted many years, and I'm running for office, and I understand the importance of being involved in the political process. Rob does. I'm sure Marina does. But, you know, that doesn't mean we didn't have to get shamed to get here. And it doesn't mean that you shaming people is going to get them there. I think we have to continue to educate, use our relationships to make sure we're moving the people, that we take the hope that you built, Obama, back in 2008 and continue to restore that here. I think Kamala did a great deal of that when she stepped into this role as the candidate now. I will say her campaign in many ways has now flattened and is not real. The momentum isn't building anymore. I think she's done a great job of getting right up there with them, and now they are neck and neck. And so, you know, we'll be able to see it. When you hear Obama, you know, basically shaming folks or trying to guilt folks into deciding that she's the only option, good thing or bad thing?
For this instance, it's a bad thing, because what he's saying, I believe it's true, but it's just the delivery. You can't say that. Like you said, it has to go back to education, because if you look at the history of what Trump has said consistently over the past 2 years, it doesn't make sense to me that anybody who is African American or Hispanic would be willing to put this person in a position of power to control their future. So I think what he's saying is true, but it's just the delivery has to be corrected. You can't say that. Like, you can't shame people into making a choice, but educate them on the facts of what could happen if this person gets into office. That would be advantageous for them to vote for the other person.
I don't even think y'all remember how brutal this administration was. I mean, yes, a lot of us did well financially, and I'll say that I did extremely well financially under the Trump administration, but he inherited a really strong economy before him with Obama. And then remember, we were locked in our houses like prisoners for at least a year during COVID, by the way, which he contributed to the expansion of COVID in America. And yeah, we weren't spending money traveling. We weren't buying clothes. We weren't eating out. We weren't going to clubs, popping bottles. We were at home, locked in our houses, threatened to go to jail if we went outside unless we were going to the store or work. Some of our jobs, we lost them. Some businesses went away. Family members, like my sister, died in the middle of a pandemic. Like, I think we forgot him throwing paper towels to Puerto Ricans in the midst of a hurricane. That's what Obama was feeling when he was saying what he was saying. He was feeling all of that. Because think about this. Say you go to a job, you do a great job in your role, and you hand it off to somebody to take it, and they just destroy it. Of course you're going to feel frustrated with the idea that they would come and get the job back after they've been fired. America fired Donald Trump. Remember when Kamala told him, you remember that? She's such a black woman. Well, anyway, I love it. Well, some people received the Obama comments well, like Rob and I did. And some of y'all didn't, like Antonio Brown. Of course, he had a lot to say. This is what he said. Telling another black man to vote for someone because they know what being black is a slap in the face to black people. I came out the mud, homeless for 6 months. Six round pick to one of the greatest ever. I'm still voting Trump because that's the best for everyone, not no agenda. And we all know that mental health is real, and that Antonio Brown, allegedly suffers from stuff that would question whether or not we should listen to him. When people like Antonio Brown say stuff like that, is that just democracy or is that just being an idiot?
I want to say it's mental health at its best, because if you can stand there and support a person who said they want to bring back stop and frisk, they want to give police immunity from prosecution. They want to put all of these things back in place that were detrimental to Black and brown people specifically. You have to be crazy.
I feel like there should be a list of people that should not have Twitter accounts, and AB has always been posting crazy stuff, and Elon, even though he owns it, there needs to be some restrictions put.
Well, I mean, social media, crazy people are not, crazy people are everywhere. Crazy people are going to vote. Smart people are going to vote. The best part about democracy is that everybody gets a voice, but that also makes it the most challenging because some voices should just like be quiet. You know, I know that Antonio's not the only person that feels that way. And that's the part that I'm trying to reconcile with, because when you look at the last 4 years, even though I know we have all been feeling the struggle of, you know, inflation and the economy and all that, because even people with money feel it, because the money is money, right? And cost is still a cost. But I think this is less about whether you like him or you like her. It's more about who do you think is going to be the preservation of democracy as we know it in the country. Now, women who have lost their right to control their bodies when it comes to abortion or whether they keep a child or not, they're starting to feel it. What happens when it comes down to us, our votes or whatever, or, you know, other freedoms that we've just become accustomed to? Are you willing to risk all of that just to spite her? Because not voting for her doesn't necessarily just hurt her. It hurts everybody. That's my opinion. Now, weeks before Obama's PSA, Slim Thug backed Harris as she's black and best for blacks. This is what he said.
Why is you black not represent for the black woman? Like, I can understand white people vote for Trump or any other race. You know what I'm saying? I can understand other races vote for Trump because they on some real. I'm going to vote for Kamala strictly because she black. I don't even know her motherfucking policies. I'm not finna not vote for the black lady, though. I don't know what type of people y'all is. I'm voting for the black woman, kid. It shouldn't even be nothing to think about. Oh, man, she's gonna take her gun. She not black. Stop the cap, man. Kamala is black, kid. She a ski-wee chick. Stop the cap, man. You already know she ski-wee. Y'all sound like some conspiracy theory. She locked boys up. Trump just said on TV, he's gonna give police free range on you dumbass niggas. Free range on you dumbass niggas. He said it. It's part of his policy. Hey, man, whatever the police want to do, they can do it. You dumbass niggas. And y'all just geeked up. She married a white. I don't care about who she married. She a black woman. If Trump win, I'm gonna probably save on taxes. I'm gonna probably win if Trump win. Right? But I don't vote for me. I vote for the people who put me here. And y'all still say I'm crazy. I don't know what the fuck I can do. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to think long term at my own pace, man. You got to go to heaven, Slim. Martin Luther King gonna be there, man. He gonna say, damn, you voted for the white dude, the white reality star over the black lady? Thug. I thought you was real. You was black on your whole career. You did your albums black on. I'm gonna salute you for that. I gotta see these people, man. Listen, bro, I'm thinking forever, man. I'm not giving it up. And like I say, if he did something I really love, I would say, man, you know what? I love it, man. You know, maybe it'll be like, yeah, maybe I'll be in a sports game. Like, I don't know. It's kind of close. Like, if I really felt like he did something amazing, I don't think he did nothing but fuck shit up. That's my personal opinion. I didn't get the PPP loan. I didn't get the relief. Black dude on here talking about Trump 2024. Y'all not gonna get me in this political fight, though. But even you, my brother, vote for whoever you want to vote. Don't let these people put you in a political gangbang. You on here banging on me talking about Trump 2024, bro. Like, Trump ain't even pay you for that, bro. Like, what is you on here gangbanging with me about a president who don't give a damn about you? I ain't never met a president that gave a damn about me. So I don't give a damn about who the president is, but I will vote for the black woman. I will vote for the woman who went to Howard and AKA. I will not pass up the opportunity.
There's a lot of black people that feel that way. I don't think you should shame black people into voting just black, even though I don't disagree with them. But but I'm in an election right now in my own city where, you know, race keeps coming up about who was black and this is black. Listen, Rob will tell you, when I started Hollywood Unlocked, I was big on everybody got to be black. And there were a lot of black folks who played around and didn't work as hard or didn't feel they didn't feel indebted to really, working with the same ambition that I had or that he has. And, over time, we have replaced some with people who, well, we've replaced some with people who are not black, but we weren't looking at skin color or race or culture or all that. We look for the best. We want the best people to be on our team. And I think that when you're talking about government or any job, you should want to have the best, but we got to level the playing field. And we know that in this world today, especially like when you look at what's happening here, the playing field ain't leveled, and we're being harder on her simply because she's black and because she's a woman. So to his point, while I may not say we should be shaming everybody just to, vote the color line, I mean, in this instance, I don't see where we would benefit voting orange. So, Kamala also unveiled a new list of policies called the Opportunity Agenda for Black Men. Now, it sounds like an opportunity because it just came out of nowhere. I feel like we're in the middle of like who can market what the best, because am I right? Doesn't it seem like so they poll and see black men are not polling well, so now here's the black men polling agenda. How does this work?
Yeah, of course they're looking at the areas where they have opportunity. They're both doing it. So on the Trump side as well, they keep releasing all these ideas where they think that they could, pull in voters from undecided communities. So of course,
what's his undecided community?
Well, he's just trying to get anybody.
Yeah, I'm like,
who is he trying to appeal to?
Yeah.
Specifically black men, because he feels like
they're the most vulnerable.
He knows he has room there because the conversation is black men are pulling away from Kamala Harris. So now he's targeting black men. So of course, like he's going to put out things that he thinks he can do as well. But of course, I don't think he outlines anything very clearly.
Well, in this opportunity agenda for black men, Kamala says that Trump spent years making black men's lives harder. Take a look. She listed all the errors of what Trump did to make y'all lives a lot harder, okay? If you look right here, and she talks about the Project 2025 agenda, did y'all even go look that up? You can chat GBT it. It's right there at your fingertips. And then she said Donald Trump and his Project 2025 agenda would increase drug costs and rip away access to insurance. We all know Hollywood Unlocked has healthcare unlocked. That'll be ripped right away. And then you can go on and see what she's talking about, rolling back the civil rights, all the rights that none of y'all really use anyway because you're just too busy smoking vapes and TikTok. Do people just not Google? Have you Googled them, or do you already know who you're going to vote for?
Oh, I already know who I'm going to vote for, but I don't even Google anything. I see everything on TikTok. But even that's dangerous because it's just clipped and it's not even like real news. So
yeah, it's a simple Google search, and the man said he wants to cancel the Constitution. The Constitution is full of amendments that allowed rights for black people to be active. So I mean, all of that would be stripped away. The man said he wants to propose the death penalty for drug dealers. Who is that going to predominantly affect in the short term? It's going to affect black and brown men in underserved communities. So like it's crazy.
See, like in San Joaquin County in Stockton, where I'm from, where I'm running for office, there's a measure right now, Measure R. The guy that's running for mayor, Tom Patty, has proposed a measure that can allow the government to strip away your public benefits if you test positive for drugs. Well, what happens if you test positive for marijuana? They may take away. So he's selling it like it's discretionary, but we all know what that's going to do. It's going to apply to everybody. And then what happens to the family that loses their benefits? Now they're homeless. Now the kids are in foster care. So, that's all that welfare reform stuff that people have been trying to push for a long time. And I'm not saying that it's a perfect system, but when you start making measures like these or doing the things that you're saying that Trump wants to do, you do understand that there's a trickle-down effect of what's going to have impact to all of us in the community, right? But again, we ain't Googling. Instead of hurting black men like Trump, Kamala shares at least 5 different initiatives for black men to build wealth, support their families, and lead in their communities. And here's a photo of that. Providing $1 million in loans that are fully forgivable to black entrepreneurs and others to start a business, championing education, training, and mentorship programs that help black men get good paying jobs in high demand industries and lead their communities, including pathways to becoming teachers, supporting a regulatory framework for crypto and other digital assets so black men who invest in and own these assets are protected, launching a national health equity initiative focused on black men that addresses sickle cell disease, diabetes, mental health, prostate cancer, and other health challenges that disproportionately impact them, and legalize recreational marijuana and creating opportunities for black Americans to succeed in this new industry. But is it enough? Because it's almost like saying she wants to make sure to protect riding on the bus and sitting wherever you want, but a lot of us don't ride buses anymore. So like we're only really moved by what is relatable, right? Mm-hmm. So black men that don't have sickle cell or don't have a family member they're caring for, they may not care, but you don't know if the kid you're going to have is going to have sickle cell or something like that. Do you think these things are going to connect? Do they connect to your black boyfriend?
No, actually they don't. But he's very anti like politics and like not believing stuff. And I feel like me too. And my family is like, my parents come from communist Yugoslavia, so they're very anti-government, anti-everything. Like, don't believe anything that everybody tells you, which is dangerous because me growing up as a kid, now I feel very disassociated from government stuff because I just think it's all a show.
When you say your man don't do what with politics?
He doesn't like subscribe to like he just doesn't believe in like.
Here's the
nothing.
deal: we all subscribe to it already.
We have to, yeah.
It's sort of like when a celebrity doesn't like Hollywood Unlocked or don't want to come on the show. We already have a relationship. No, you just don't participate in it, and that's why when it goes left, y'all send the goons to look for me. Hey, TikTok. So it's like we are subscribed to it.
Mm-hmm. You have no
Politics
choice.
in this country has an auto subscription. The minute you're born, politics. Did your mom pay for it? Was it free?
You have a social security number?
They put the mark of the beast right on you as soon as you come out. So it's true. Mm-hmm. And they track everything. Right now, we're being tracked. So the point is, you're subscribed to it. So stop with this belief that you don't have to participate if you don't want to. Yeah, that's your choice. But to not participate is literally to just lay down and take whatever happens. I wish there was a way that all of you who don't participate in the political process just had a certain glow around you. That way, when I'm in the community as a city council member and y'all walk in, all the yellows, go over there. Because if you yellow, that means you ain't been participating. Not skin color. Please don't use the color thing. I mean, like if you actually had a color ring around you if you didn't participate. Because a lot of people complain but don't get active.
Well, I think people don't participate because we've just been let down by the government so much. And I feel like younger and younger people, they lose hope.
But
I'm just saying what the streets say.
But to that point, like it's two very specific glaring conversations right there. One person wants to give the death penalty to people for selling drugs, while the other, and disproportionately black men are incarcerated for marijuana sales. Like you helped get one out who was spending way too much time in jail for selling weed, and it's now legal in a lot of states. And the other one is trying to give opportunity for black men to make money in that industry. So it's like, it's a very clear contrast to me.
And I think to that point, I got one person out of prison who was in prison first time ever for 8 years for 1 pound of marijuana in a state where it's illegal versus this state where you'd be an entrepreneur. Like now he's fighting, this Dante Westmoreland, he's fighting for advocacy of people all over the country. And what she's proposing is to decriminalize it. Because as we know, in 2024, nobody should be in prison for a year, for a month for marijuana. It's weed. It's not heroin or opioids or cocaine. But we know cocaine's a white people drug, so they're not going to do it anyway. Well, she also promised to lift black men up. No, I'm side-eyeing it because you still ain't lifted up this ad spin over here. But anyway. She also promises to lift black men up and remove barriers often holding them back. Take a look. I'm going to let y'all read this, okay? I'm going to just read the highlights. She's vowing to break down unjust legal barriers that hold black men and other Americans back by legalizing marijuana nationally. She is going to build trust between law enforcement and the communities that they serve. That makes sense. Invest in proven community violence intervention programs. Protect the right to vote. Well, listen, Kamala gets an A+ just for the fact that she came up with a plan. Because all of you who are still voting for Trump, we still haven't heard a real plan. Has he said anything like here? Like, if he had like one of the best economists in the world standing next to him, breaking down his economic plan to where you're going to lower gas prices, get market rate housing, all these different things, then I would be like, okay, he actually has a plan. But he hasn't done that. So why is his marketability? Is he just marketing towards racism, fascism, sexism? Is that misogyny?
Because he's a rich white man in America, and that's all they see. Because again, everybody keeps saying, well, his plan is on his website. And then for her, they're like, well, she doesn't talk about it enough. And now she's talking about her plan. They're like, well, she needs to talk about it in more detail. But he still hasn't talked about a plan at all. Most he said is I have a concept of a plan.
And imagine that in America, a white man can have privilege in an election while a black woman has to fight hard to overproof herself. Do none of y'all relate to that? I mean, I am extremely successful, making millions of dollars, but I still feel in my own industry very inferior. Not that I walk around with an inferiority complex. I feel like no matter, we create an award show, we have a talk show that's killing everybody that actually is good, and we produce it in-house. You say some of these talk shows have 200 staff, we have 3. Well, 2.5. But we've proven ourselves. And I almost, where I relate to Kamala, where a lot of you blacks and browns do, is we have to overly prove ourselves when people can be mediocre and just skate right by. I literally just had this moment sitting here right now where I'm like, oh, that's America. And this is why we have a chance to prove that we're our better America. Now, a lot of you don't understand my criticism of the vice president. Let me be very clear. I endorse Kamala Harris. I am voting for Kamala Harris. It is not about being a Democrat or a Republican. It is about right over wrong. I love the vice president as a human being. So I just want to be extremely clear. This is the only person in politics at that level who opened the door for me, for my black-owned business, who showed up at our award show via video, who supported access to her. And again, I'll tell the story. I may have told it before. When I met her, I was so nervous. And I don't even get nervous meeting people, but it's like the vice president, like, are you supposed to bow, curtsy? I don't know what the hell you're supposed to do. I had just said the queen was dead. Well, you remember that. I'm meeting another head of state or the assistant head of state, whatever. And I went to hug her because she told me I could hug her, and I spilled my coffee all over the table. I told you the story. And she cleaned it up, or what and she just showed me like she's a real person. And I believe in her. And so, but I also believe in being accountable and holding people accountable. So my criticism of her team isn't, I hope in any way, an unbelievable idea that I would endorse this, because I don't endorse hate mongers or people who are divisionists or negative or racist. And I do believe, even though I'm trying to get the Trump interview, I'm probably not going to get it now. He is one. He can come here and make me feel some other way, but I do. But I was criticizing the vice president for not coming into this show or the Breakfast Club or anywhere where the culture exists and sitting down and having a conversation, because the culture deserved to have that. Well, I don't got that complaint anymore either, because she sat down with my friend Charlemagne. And I talked to Charlemagne last week, and he told me this was going to happen. And I have to say to the vice president, thank you. Because we just wanted you to pull up to our platforms like you do everywhere else. And I will say another unfair bias is that she going everywhere. He ain't nowhere. That in itself, she's not going everywhere because she necessarily feels like she needs to. She going everywhere to show you that she gonna answer whatever question you put in front of her. And I love how she's doing it with so much class and grace and poise and just intelligence. Well, she sat down with my friend Charlemagne and reminded the community who actually issued those COVID stimmies. Now, a lot of you out there that I know said, oh, I'm going to vote for her because she gave me the stimmy. Dummy, listen.
On several occasions recently, Don Lemon has stated that there's a large group of black men who believe Donald Trump sent them a personal check during COVID because his name was on it versus it coming from the government as a stimulus check. Can you provide some clarification on this?
Speak to the stimmy.
I'm so glad you raised that. So here's what happened. A majority Democratic Congress fought to get those stimulus checks out, fought against resistance by the Trump administration, and won because we had a majority of Democrats in Congress. And that's why those checks went out. As we all know and grew up learning, Congress holds the purse strings. It was Congress that made that decision. And then Donald Trump, never being one to pass up an opportunity to give himself credit when no credit is due, put his name on those checks. And sadly, it resulted in people thinking Donald Trump was responsible for and directly responsible for putting money in their pocket, when in fact, it was a Democratic majority Congress that was responsible for those checks going out.
So now that she said it, y'all gonna believe it now? I mean, the sad part is that she is defending rumors. Like Charlamagne said, I thought was brilliant. Charlamagne did a phenomenal job on the interview. You know, he could have asked her a bunch of questions. I love the fact that he hit her with every rumor because, as he said, you're in a campaign against the truth. Like, the truth is what it is. But because she is a black woman, and sometimes in this country and around the world, through lenses of racism, we see nothing but color instead of seeing a qualified, overly qualified, intelligent woman who we would be lucky to have as a leader. When you saw just that one example of her addressing the rumor of Trump giving away the stimmy, what did you think?
I was glad that it was actually a conversation that we're having, because so many people are led by that misinformation. I remember when we were all sitting locked in our homes, like we talked about earlier, just locked at home because he fumbled the ball with dealing with the pandemic. I remember when they were fighting to get the stimulus checks out, and then they had to hold it up because he wanted to make sure his name was printed on the checks. And the Republican Party had been fighting to not give the money to the American people. It's crazy.
And I feel like this is especially important. I love how they're having citizens actually speak, and like you hear their voice and you hear their concern, because in this time of just Twitter headlines and TikTok headlines, you only see a clip, so it's easy to believe a rumor or like a false narrative. So period.
The future of you and your families literally is in the hands of a 40-minute, 60-minute clip. Like, for real, we got to do better. All I want, this comment is strictly for Black people and brown people. We got to do better. I'm not even going to talk to white folks who are watching right now, because all of my fans who are non-Black, y'all going to do what y'all going to do. But to our people who grew up in situations like me that understand and relate to me, I pray that the one thing you do, if you don't do anything, please do your research. And then ask yourself, what type of world do I want to live in? If you're okay with your mother, sister, aunties, your daughters losing the right to control their bodies, then vote for Trump. If you believe that the police should be able to pull you out your car and kill you in the middle of the street, or your daughter, or your mom, or your dad, with no accountability, then vote for Trump. If you believe that you can just grab any woman by their pussy, or in some of you men at Diddy house, get grabbed by your penises,
Allegedly.
then vote for Trump. And if you believe as a person of color that the playing field shouldn't be leveled when you have more intelligence than people that don't look like you and not be given your opportunity, then vote for Trump, because DEI gone, everything related to fair and free elections gone, and this won't be America that we know. So I don't even want you to be like, oh, you're just trying to fear mongering. Nah, I'm telling you straight up right now, take that vape out your mouth. Take that YSL gang rap out your ears. Pull your pants up, and please pay attention that this is the one moment in time that you better exercise that right that everybody fought for. You know, I wouldn't have ran for office, people, if I felt like the world wasn't crumbling around us. I just went to where I know I can have the most impact right now. And it's been a huge sacrifice that we've all endured as a team. But that's because my people around me understand that I want to make an impact. All of you get to make an impact. You don't have to run for office, but you could vote. Your vote is your run for office, because you're saying, I'm going to put the CEO in charge that I believe can do the best job. Now, is she going to be perfect? Hell no. Nah. They still gonna have the same stale waffles and chicken during holidays. They still gonna have a Henny and eggnog. They still gonna have the same Marine band. I mean, she might bring BET back in and make it black. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be fun. But I mean, like, please don't let the politics. I mean, we wake up every day and go, how many more days we got left? Right?
Right. Yeah.
Has this not been like the most toxic reality show in the world?
Yes, I'm so ready for it to be over.
And my God, he said that if he loses, he ain't coming back. Then again, we saw STDs don't always keep his promise either. Goodbye. Well, here we go with the show I don't care about, Love Island. I don't watch this show. I don't know how much love is on the island. I know it's a huge show, and shout out to my friend Miguel and his girlfriend Leah. I think it's allegedly his girlfriend. I don't know. The man, and he built the brand with the girl, and I'm glad that he's doing his thing. I am sick of seeing these people from Love Island. Miguel, I am sick of seeing you and Leah and these photos that y'all posting, but God bless you and her. I hope that is just marketing. That's only because I'm single and bitter, you know? Like, I'm single. Like, I just want everybody to be sad like me. I do have options. Well, speaking of Love Island, this Love Island ain't getting no love online because she's a racist.
Allegedly.
Well, I'll let you decide. Love Island star Hannah Smith says, sorry to the black community, a.k.a. you. After a racist rant. Now, last month, Hannah was arrested outside of a concert in Atlanta. No, you wasn't racist in Black Atlanta.
That's the first thing that I thought.
You was racist in Atlanta? Where like 1 and 2 are black? Well, she verbally attacked a female police officer who I'm sure was black in Cobb County. Now, during the incident, she allegedly shouted this: "Bitch, I can't wait to kill you, you dumbass ugly bitch, because you're fucking fat and they love us skinny bitches because you're fucking black and I hate black bitches. So I can't wait to kill you and your sister, you dumbass bitch." Okay, that was Hennessy. That was all Hennessy. That was not Casamigo. Because Casamigo and what's the other drink I used to drink? The vodka.
Sorry.
It's been so long. No, listen, don't you play with me. No Diddy. No Diddy. I wasn't a Ciroc drinker. Okay. I drank what was the Ciroc? What was the vodka that we drank? Tito's, you idiot. Tito's. You still drink.
Yeah, I still drink Tito's.
Rob's getting lipo, so all of a sudden he don't remember the liquor that he drinks. But whatever.
I don't think this was Hennessy though, because Hennessy's brown. She doesn't
That's
like anything
why
brown.
Hennessy.
First of all, that's brown juice or gin.
It must have been gin.
It could have been gin. Okay, because gin makes me talk crazy. Not like that. I don't even drink no more. Thank God. Well, Hannah was arrested on 2 felony charges. Don't you ever bring Ciroc ever up?
It was an accident.
Okay.
I said, sir.
Listen. If you got Diddy on your lips. That's between
Jason,
you and Diddy, but
it's the most famous vodka.
No, excuse me. No, it ain't. When we and Rob go out, we got Tito bottles. We don't drink no Ciroc.
I didn't put 2 and 2
Can
together.
I just tell you that we hear Diddy in everything now? Like if the air blows too fast, it's like, oh, you feel that blowing? Like what? Like I'm sick of the Diddy scandal. I ain't gonna lie. It's transformed communication everywhere I go. Even in this conversation right now, where we're talking about a racist that don't like blacks. Well, Hannah was arrested after that brown juice on 2 felony charges, making terroristic threats and obstructing law enforcement, and was released on bail the next day. But y'all ain't free Thug yet. Do your thing, TikTok. No, seriously. Young Thug is in the mistrial of his life. Mm-hmm. This trial's been going on for years where Woody done got up there and said, I don't know what's going on. Like, the judge is even sick, and she got out the next day? That's crazy. Okay, well, Hannah's lawyer, Mike Hawkins, claims that she doesn't remember anything that happened after she stepped away from her drink to take a photo with the fans. Now, he emphasizes she's very upset about the incident and calling her a black bitch and regrets any offense of calling her a fat black bitch caused her and others, including the police. Now, days later, Hannah shared an apology on social media because that's what racists do. Take a look. Hi, everyone. Okay, can we come back real quick? First of all, ew. Like, I don't know what island you were on. Maybe it was the Epstein one. But those breasts look so plastic and manufactured, and your face looked like you got hit by a truck before the alcohol. Go back to her photo again. I'm so sick of girls that look like you. First of all, that Mr. Potato Head nose you got and them plastic ass lips. Anyway, let me go on and read this. Hello, everyone. I want to just take a moment to address the recent events that took. First of all, this is ChatGPT because I use it. You did not even write this. I just wait. Let me read it. Okay, for everybody in the car. Shit. I want to just. Damn, am I dyslexic? Let me start over. I want to just take a moment to address the recent events that took place at the concert I attended in Atlanta. I deeply regret the circumstances that led to my arrest on September 30th. I understand the impact and the severity of my actions and words, and I am deeply sorry. Space. I take responsibility for my actions, and I apologize to all of those those that were affected by my behavior, especially to the officer and the black community whom I insulted and disrespected. This experience has been incredibly humbling and challenging because I simply have no recollection of that night. This is out of my character, and I would truly never say things of that nature to hurt anyone. All I can do is ask for forgiveness and time and to change my behavior and learn from this experience. Thank you for those who have shown support during this time. Fuck out of here. You know, you're a racist. You got caught. The liquor did the damn thing by telling the truth. And now I want the police to release the tape. We want to see it so that way it will be forever etched in our black bitch minds. Right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And this apology didn't even stand on business because it was an Instagram story. So it was going to expire in 24 hours. I'm like, you didn't even want to post that and like stand on that. Dumbass.
Oh my God. And to me, when you get drunk, you don't just start saying things that you've never said before. The things that roll off of your tongue from that truth serum are things you've said before. So you've been in your house calling somebody a black bitch before, saying that you want to kill these fat black bitches. So that's something that's rolled off that tongue that easy before.
Mm-hmm.
When Omarosa dropped her book on Trump, I know he was somewhere and said, "This black bitch." This black bitch. Hey, Omarosa. We need to get Omarosa on the show. Can you remind me, please? Marina, if you ever say the black bitch, I'm firing you.
Oh my God.
Just letting you know.
Remember you told me what your new pronouns were.
Oh, yes. Okay, get this troglodyte off of my screen. Okay, listen, I told Marina and Rob that all of you gays out there are continuing to confuse the straights and these pronouncing. And y'all know what this show is, so please, anybody out there who gets offended, kiss my ass. It is what it is, okay? I'm gay, so I can say this. I think the pronouncing thing has just gotten it's just gone a little crazy. And look, I'm gonna call any of you whatever you want to be called, but we have to have mutual respect. So I'm gonna tell everybody out there right now, including you and you especially, okay? When you refer to me, my new pronoun is that nigga. So when you say to me, "Hey, that can I speak to you?" Don't say Jason. Don't say he, him. It's that. That is my pronoun, effective immediately. So refer to me.
No.
But you know it's crazy. Y'all don't want to respect our pronouns. See, and that's the problem that I have.
No.
Well, anyway, okay. Would that be wrong?
It would just be very difficult for a lot of people to address.
Can we
you.
hire somebody white and then have them call me that and then fire them the same day?
I don't think so.
Because if you get fired for using the proper pronoun, is that a violation of some type of Title VII? I don't know. I need to do my research. Well, Slim Thug is over all of you Houston baddies because he's going to have sex with a robot. Well, maybe or maybe not. And by the way, some of you that have those ass plants, we already feel like we're having sex with you already. Okay? I mean,
facts.
some of y'all bad built, butch body, they ain't even blonde anymore. They just badly built. Some of you men too, because some of you men also get these implants.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is not shaming women, because some of you men out there, I don't understand. Look, this is mostly for the gays in Atlanta. I don't understand why y'all got these plump booties with the silicones and the situations. I'm sorry, my body's not the best. It's much better than it was before, you know, because y'all all trying to get it. But I could never pump and dump silicone and prosthetics like Calvin, like, because when I hold myself at night, I feel real body. I feel real muscle and real. I feel city council skin. You know what I mean? Like I'm not feeling all the plastics. By the way, the country needs to do away with plastic. We have way too much plastic in our trash these days. Well, anyway, Houston rapper Slim Thug is gaining more attention for his commentary other than his hits. Now, after his political comments, Slim Thug is now going viral for claiming robots are getting ready to replace a lot of you sexual partners, specifically women, with all your complaints. Look.
A lot of women scared too, fellas, because that's the little shit they do. This robot is finna do that. They're gonna have to really come with something now. It's gonna have to be bigger than that. You're gonna have to really come with something now. It ain't about, oh, I cleaned your house, I did it. Nah, boo, the robot did that. So now what? I got a robot cook for me and clean and do all that. So what I need you for? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is our thing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, them girls come on this app and they cap about, yeah, I got that rose and nigga ain't never gave me head like this. And yeah, this got me, it's better than ever. What you think them girl robots gonna be able to do, man? You know that Elon them got something good for us. If not Elon, China. What you think that them robot women gonna be able to do? We need a robot woman that's just as Debbie Downer. We gonna call her Debbie Downer. She gonna down you in about a second. Just like they be capping about that role, we gonna get us, she do everything and don't complain. That's gonna be a slogan. She do everything and don't complain. Don't drop me a robot. Hard bodies. You don't think they can figure that out? Stop the cap, man. It's China. They can figure out how to make that soft. Debbie Downer gonna have the Hawk 2 sound. The wife gonna be, you know how the wife try to hold out on y'all. The wife be trying to hold out on y'all. The world is gonna be an amazing place, Lord.
What happens when she's giving you head and she gets lockjaw? You know, that metal jaw just locked down and just cut your thing off. And now you got to go call the jaws of life to come pry open your robot girl's mouth so you can pull your penis out. Look. You look at the evolution of the internet. Remember dial-up, now where we are. You remember social media. We have MySpace with our friends. Now it's Instagram, and the highways of Twitter is just wide open. So the evolution of the world is inevitable. But I'm sorry. I don't want no AI date. I don't want no robot date. I want something straight out of Brazil. English is optional. Full of gratitude. With a workability disposition, you know, like just with low expectations and just accepting of all gifts, but not the kind that Diddy was giving away allegedly to y'all that was allegedly flown in. But robots, is that what we're on now?
Look,
because I know you and I get lonely at times. You talk about it, right?
Yeah.
But would you date a robot?
No. And there's a movie called Ex Machina. Just watch that and you will change your mind.
Okay. What happens?
It's about a guy who's similar to Elon Musk who invites a guy from his company to his house to kind of evaluate this machine learning robot who he's developed.
And it's like a human.
It's a human. He puts him in front of it to determine if the guy can figure out if it's human or not. And in the end, it does not turn out well for humans. And
was he having sex with you?
Yes, with multiple of them in his little house.
Send me the link to this movie. I'm gonna watch it. Okay.
I'll send you.
What if the robot has the penis like the guy from Monsters?
What is that? Oh,
because think about it, a robot.
You can probably customize it.
Sex drive's never gonna go down.
Nope.
Always gonna be ready to turn on. Literally. You ain't gonna have to feed it much. You ain't gonna have to buy it no real clothes. Maybe onto something. Well, Slim Thug also shared his theory about people getting tattoos of other faces or names. Look.
You wrote someone's name on you, you might have a mental illness. Like, this is a real, true assessment that I have to give you. You know what I'm saying? And if you got like some shit on your face, it's 100% mental illness. If you put somebody's name or if you put somebody's face on your face, go get your chick. Go get your chick, my nigga. Like, go ahead. Go ahead. Say, man. It's a for sure chick for you, kid. Straight up, go pick it up, man. Because what made you think I want to do that? What kind of love you on to where you got to put somebody's face on you or to put their name on you to show that you fuck with them? Like, and then y'all broke up. Now you got to get this shit covered up. Go get your chick, my nigga.
Well, Sexy Red didn't like that, and she speaks for the streets. She ended up clapping all the way back at Slim Thuggish. Now Sexy has over 30 tattoos, including her mom and son's name and the word daddy for her late stepdad. Let me show you a photo of Sexy Red's comment. What Lil Wayne say? I'm ill, not sick. Well, she called him Lil Wayne when she know that ain't Lil Wayne. So that was shade. Well, anyway, Slim Thug caught her a little clap back and said she won. So let me give it up for him. He's such a gentleman. See what happens when you let the streets get the best of you? Get it? We love Sexy. Anyway, goodbye. Guess who's back in the news? R. Kelly. You know, sadly, one of the best singers, best artists ever in terms of R&B music, hands down, R. Kelly. And you know, some of the challenges that I have with this whole R. Kelly Diddy stuff is that a lot of this stuff that was happening back in the day was happening at a time where our culture found it acceptable. Not that it was right, but acceptable. Like some of you who live in states where it's still legal to have sex with a 16-year-old, knowingly having sex with somebody at 16. And ironically, people wanted to cancel R. Kelly's music after he got arrested, but hasn't canceled Diddy's music yet. And I'm sorry. I'm going to say this right now. It's way too much R. Kelly music out there that's iconic and way too much Diddy influence or inspired or involved music. We're not canceling Notorious Big. We're not canceling Mary J. Blige. We're not canceling 112. We're not canceling Craig Mack. We're not canceling Total. We're just not. And I want to be very clear that to do so is to hurt a lot of writers, producers, artists, and stuff that are making money off of this music. And so that's my only thing that I want to say. But there's some sick shit. R. Kelly, who's currently serving 20 years in prison for allegedly, I don't even know if it's allegedly because there's documentaries and people out there that came forward and things that have been proven, slept with all these younger kids, who's now in prison for 20 years, crying every day, why you do this to me? Well, his daughter is saying, you did it to me too. By the way, don't she look like her? Mm-hmm. She looks like a mixture of her and Angela Simmons. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she ain't laughing. R. Kelly's daughter, Joanne Kelly, who now goes by Buku Abi, your daddy call you Joanne, I'm going to call you Joanne. That's all right. She alleges that she is also a victim of sexual abuse at the hands of her own dad. Now, a quick refresher. In 2021, R. Kelly was convicted of racketeering and sex trafficking charges and sentenced to 30 years in prison, which he's going to do 20. Well, in 2022, he was found guilty of 6 counts of child pornography, sexual exploitation, and enticing a minor. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Oh, well, maybe that was a sentence. That looked like 50 years to me. I don't know. He's gone. Well, R. Kelly filed an appeal for the latter conviction, but was denied, and he's now serving 19 years of both sentences concurrently and is eligible for release in 2045. Damn. At 78 years old, he's going to be bumping and grinding and going on tour again. Well, anyway, before his convictions, R. Kelly welcomed 3 children with ex-wife Andrea Kelly, 26-year-old Joanne, 23-year-old daughter Ja, and 22-year-old son Robert Jr. Now, here's a photo of R. Kelly's children. They all look like their mama. All right. Well, now in the TVEI documentary, R. Kelly's Karma, A Daughter's Journey, Joanne is claiming to be about 8 or 9 years old when her father first allegedly abused her. I'm going to say allegedly.
Allegedly.
She said that she told her mother in 2009 when she was 10 years old. Now, in the documentary, Joanne emotionally recalls the alleged abuse and says that she would never take herself nor her 13-year-old son, Omni, to see R. Kelly in prison. We got the audio clip. Listen.
He was my everything. For a long time, I didn't even want to believe that it happened. I didn't know that even if he was a bad person, that he would do something to me. I just remember waking up to him touching me. And I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of laid there and I pretended to be asleep. And I just remember from that moment on, like I was a different person. I wasn't the same, but I was too scared to tell anybody. So it was hard to even accept that it happened. After I told my mom, I didn't go over there anymore. My brother and sister, we didn't go over there anymore. And even up until like now, I struggle with it a lot. I struggle with not ever wanting to talk to him again, but then wanting to, because my dad. But I really feel like that 1 millisecond completely just changed my whole life and changed who I was as a person and changed the sparkle I had.
If my son asks questions, I'm gonna be as truthful as possible. But I will not be taking my son to a prison to meet his grandfather.
Well, Joanne said she and her mother filed a police report under Jane Doe, but the police couldn't prosecute Kelly because they waited too long, which left Joanne feeling like she said something for nothing. And she also talked about her handful of suicide attempts. Take a look. For a long time, I was in a really hard space mentally, and so I ended up in a mental hospital, a psych ward, whatever you want to call it, because I hit a point in my life where multiple times I had tried to take my own life. She went on to say, I just got to a point where I didn't care anymore. I didn't care if I lived or died. I didn't care about what happened to me. My mom saw that my wrists were all cut up, and she just immediately dropped everything and was asking, what's going on? Are you okay? She was really worried, and she broke down and she told her that she didn't think that she was okay. And that day, she called the hospital and ended up checking me in, and I didn't leave. I was there for about 2.5 weeks. Well, Drea Kelly also appeared in the documentary, and she had this to say, listen.
What he did to me, he did to me. But you didn't have to do it to my damn kids. Just because you're not a good husband doesn't mean you can't be a good father. And the fact that he didn't even try.
Why haven't you come out sooner? Maybe because it was her daughter's story to tell, and now her daughter's telling the story. Okay, so I'm not going to hold you accountable to that, Drea, but damn, there was a lot going on. When we all believed we could fly, he was doing too much. He was flying over being accountable. In light of his daughter's accusations, R. Kelly is reportedly very upset, and his attorney, Jennifer, told people that he's innocent. This is a photo of R. Kelly's attorney's on the daughter. This is what he said. This is what the attorney said. Mr. Kelly oh Lord, here we go with this. What was the word we did?
Oh yeah,
peculiar. Here's what the attorney had to say. Mr. Kelly Vietnamese.
Vehemently.
Okay. The attorney said Mr. Kelly. The attorney said Mr. Kelly vehemently. How do you say this word?
That is not how you say it, Johnny.
Vehemently.
Okay. The attorney said Mr. Kelly vehemently. What?
The H is silent. Vehemently.
Vehement.
See? Okay. The attorney said Mr. Kelly, play it again. Vehemently. The attorney said Mr. Kelly vehemently.
Yeah.
The attorney said Mr. Kelly vehemently. I'm hearing Vietnamese in my head. I don't know why. Okay,
it's just no H.
Okay, play it again. Okay, when I point to you, push the thing. Okay, the attorney said Mr. Kelly denies these allegations. This is a sizzle cut right here. This is a behind the scenes thing. Okay, Mr. Kelly vehemently. Wait, play it again. Vehemently. Okay. The attorney said Mr. Kelly vehemently denies these allegations. His ex-wife made these allegations years ago, and it was investigated by Illinois Department of Children and Family Services and was unfounded. And the filmmakers, whoever they are, did not reach out to Mr. Kelly or his team to even allow him to deny these hurtful claims. You did it. You did it. In my opinion, it's my opinion based on the facts. Judge Jason is ruling that you did it. Because why would she lie? Like, she gets nothing out of this. Well, Joanne also caught backlash online over the documentary, leaving her to explain her intentions, which she shouldn't have had to do. You know what's so crazy? Y'all be so quick to defend people and say you raping and molesting and this and that, but then when a person comes forward, then you attack them. Mm-hmm. She had to explain her intentions for coming out and doing the documentary for herself, her peace, her mind, her infant son, and her family. Okay? And so the fact that she's had to come out and defend herself is wild. Of course, she went to Instagram with it. Here's what she said. I'm not reading all that. She said a lot. The end. Well, I pray that you get the peace and the support and the love and the therapy that you need. And you, Andre, it sounds like y'all were just locked in a dungeon of despair over there. And as somebody who has survived child molest, it is something. You know, now that I'm in therapy and going through all my stuff, I never felt I had triggers. You know, like things were triggering. This Diddy stuff, I found myself, even in this story, a certain level of paralysis because you're trying to process it all from the vantage point of somebody who speaks about the culture, somebody who's been a survivor, somebody who is now an advocate, somebody who has to deal with online trolls who say the craziest things. This has been a very interesting decade of just the unraveling of super powerful people that you thought you knew, fighting with the images you think you have and the realities of who they are, and the people who sat by and watched it all. And then now online, how we just consume it. Like, we consume it as if it's a movie, like we have our popcorn and we're enjoying conversations of people being victimized that are going to go on for years. Like this girl, Joanne, for years has been dealing with the madness of a father who touched her and potentially molested her, I'll say allegedly for the sake of legal purposes, you know, and now we're all sitting out here just having a fun little debate online whether or not her daddy touched her. Meanwhile, you're somewhere saying ain't nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Okay, goodbye. Well, Kanye West is in the news, and it ain't for nothing good. Kanye is being sued for abuse. Now, is Kanye West the next hip-hop power player to take a downfall? Now, we saw him go through being canceled by Adidas and Gap and the culture and all the things Jewish-related. Well, now he's in the news for something else. In this last week, he's been hit with back-to-back lawsuits and allegations of his own. In one suit, a former director of intelligence for Ye, filing as John Doe, claimed he was tasked by Ye with investigating the Kardashians and supposed various criminal links Ye believed they had with criminal enterprises, including alleged sex trafficking. Now, John Doe also claimed he was responsible for hiring private detectives to follow Ye's wife, Bianca, during her trip to visit relatives in Australia. He also said that in May, he shared a report of child abuse at Ye's Donda Academy with the company's leaders. And Ye allegedly got very angry and screamed, "You're fucking dead to me," and then played a recording featuring threatening voices. Now, the lawsuit cites unpaid wages, retaliation, and emotional distress, stating that the man's mental health suffered as a result. Now, he claimed the alleged incident worsened his PTSD from military service and that it led to more panic attacks and anxiety. Let me stop there first and say, as somebody who worked with Ye, I got all my money up front. Do you remember this time period?
Oh, yes. Very much so.
I got paid my 7-figure, 12-month salary in one payment because I didn't want to go through all this. And a lot of y'all who are working with Ye, and I'm not making excuses, a lot of y'all worked with him because you were under the spell of working with Kanye West. I'm under the spell of wires, Cash Apps, PayPals, Venmos, and on some instances, a cash drop. But I got my seven figures. Hold on. Where's that? I can't find it. I got my 7-figure payment in one meeting because I said to him, I don't want to go through the headaches that everybody claims to go through with you. I want to be paid up front. And he did that. He paid me a 7-figure payment up front. So I will say that in my instance, the Kanye West that y'all talking about paid me everything I was due up front and let me leave when I was ready to leave 5 months early because he chose to go off the deep end that I was not. I didn't sign up for that. Rob, you were there as a witness. Okay. But I also know he doesn't pay people. And that's because there are a lot of you that hang along hoping to get paid. Well, hope don't pay the rent. Hope don't pay the car note. Hope don't pay for the kids. And all of us that were there knew all the things that we're hearing about with the school and the kids. And we all know that all that is real. The other thing is real that Rob will attest to is the mental state. Because it was stressful. It was probably the most stressful thing I've ever done in my entire life. And I've done a lot. I've worked in institution with young criminals. I've worked in building unions and hospitals that didn't want them. I worked with Spanish-speaking families advocating for child education reform and didn't speak any Spanish. I worked in education. I've worked in I've done it all. This was the hardest job I ever had. But I took it on as a test, right? I mean, think about it. One day, he's fighting with Pete Davidson. The next day he's doing a music video and he walks outside with his head in his hand. I mean, this is the thing, right? Like 4 a.m. calls of screaming and just crazy. So yes, I do understand the PTSD and the anxiety, and it was real. Yes, it was real. Having to text him and spread every line because you have to put a space between each line. It was a lot. But we also all signed up for it. Like, we knew what we were getting into, and then when we got in it, we didn't leave because some of us wanted to save him and then found out we had to save ourselves. Well, days later, Ye was hit with another list of allegations from Lauren, his former assistant. Now, I work directly with Lauren. I love Lauren. Lauren is everything. Did you ever deal with Lauren?
Yeah. We text back and forth over a few things. But.
Very professional, very responsive, and the girl was managing a lot. I love Lauren. Here's a photo of Lauren. Now, I know y'all gonna say she breasts, why she dressed like that. Why you can be pretty and smart, you can be pretty and an assistant, you can be whatever you want to be. And yes, she has an OnlyFans page. I don't know what's on over there because I don't go to OnlyFans, despite what y'all saying in Stockton. But Lauren is more than that photo. She's everything. I love Lauren. She knows that. Well, in June, we spoke about Lauren, who sued Ye for sexual harassment, creating a hostile work environment, unjustly firing her, and breaking a contractual agreement. Now, Lauren, who previously worked as an OnlyFans model, raking in an annual income of $1 million, says she began working for Ye in July 2021, and a year later, he allegedly requested that she maintain a godlike image and delete her OnlyFans account. Now, what Lauren told me was that in exchange for doing that, he was going to give her the money she would have lost, which makes sense. If you want an individual that's like me, if I meet somebody from another country like Brazil or New York or wherever they may be and whatever lifestyle they're in, if I want them to leave all of that to come and be with me, I need to make sure that lifestyle is, cool. Well, she's saying that he alleged to pay her that $1 million and increase her salary to $1 million. Those of you that are saying that sounds crazy, I just told you I got 7 figures for what I was doing. But what I was doing was a lot. Well, this wasn't just an assistant. This was a person who one day when Kanye said that he was a ghost and no longer available to anybody, including me, we all had to call Lauren. So if Rob was, if you were Lauren and you were Kanye, I would have to call and say, please ask Kanye if he's going to go to this meeting. She would then call Kanye and Kanye would say, what meeting? She would then call me back and say, what meeting? I would then say the meeting with Gap. You would then go.
Telephone.
But she had to do that for everybody, including family court, lawyers, accountants, designers, creative. And even when he moved to Japan, she had to be up at the hours that he was up to communicate with people who were here. One of those instances was Cardi B's video with Lil Durk. Cardi called me from the label. She needed to get with Kanye. I had to call Kanye through Lauren. So it's Cardi calling me. It's the label calling Cardi, Cardi calling me calling Lauren, Lauren calling Kanye, calling. That happened. Mm-hmm. And we were able to get Kanye, who moved to Japan, to be in the video, but Lauren had a facilitator. Like, this was her life. Okay. Well, shortly after that, Ye allegedly sent her text like this. Take a look. Now, in her lawsuit, she's saying that this is one of the texts. See, my problem is I be wanting to fuck, but then after I fuck, I want a girl to tell me how hard they've been fucked while I'm fucking them. Then I want her to cheat on me and go get fucked with a bigger dick than mine and come back and tell me the story. Then I want her to suck my dick with her best friend, or option B, suck my dick with a bad bitch. I'm feeling already that I fucked, then made her tell me how hard she been fucked while I was fucking her, then went and fucked somebody with a bit. Oh, that's the same. Well, anyway. That was a lot of fucking.
Too much.
It's almost sounding Diddy-ish in how they're describing it, right? Well, she also alleged that Ye engaged in inappropriate behavior during phone calls, like masturbating and asking her to guess or listen to what he was doing. She also alleged that he was fixated on the penis. I'm done. Johnny, can I go home? I thought running for office was going to take me out of this. Between Ye and Diddy, there's so many penises being talked about that I'm praying, listen to me. Do your thing, TikTok. I want to get away from this. This is not what the culture was when I got in this work. Like I every day is Rico's threatening that, like, really. And there are other topics I want to talk about, but this is what y'all want to talk about, penises. Well, she said that he was fixated on penis sizes of her romantic partners. I'm just thinking about a conversation I had with. Beat that out. Do your thing, TikTok. Well, Lauren even alleged that Ye sent her videos of him having sex with a model and asked her if his penis was racist. Take a look. I have a serious question. Be honest with me. Is my dick racist? It is. This fucking racist dick of mine. I'm going to beat this fucking racist dick for being fucking racist. I'm going to stare at pictures of white women with black asses and beat the shit out of my racist dick. This racist needs to be beaten till it can't be racist no more. This ain't right, bro. After 400 years, we still at this point, the richest black man ever beating the shit out of his big black. When you hear things like this, does it make you lose the love that you had for your favorite rapper or your favorite star? Like if we heard Taylor Swift talking about her vagina as a slave, and she wants to beat her slave pussy into it, like, would we not like our stars? Do we not like our stars as much as we used to when we hear stuff like this?
Yeah, I mean, when they say stupid shit, I think it brings them down to a level that we're like, damn, I really didn't want to think of you that way. Like when John Mayer did the same thing.
I don't think so. I still love Kanye. Last week I wore my Yeezus shirt. It's the same reason how, like, I don't agree with Chick-fil-A being anti-gay, but I love Chick-fil-A down. So you can, like, separate.
Slow down. You're doing a little
church
too
and
much
state.
now. Slow down. Slow down. I eat Chick-fil-A too, but I get it, right? I don't text my assistant about my penis. Me and Andrew, different. I don't understand how much money, power, influence, nothing in it. Like, there's just something in it that makes me believe there has to be boundaries, right? Rob is not only the vice president of Hollywood Unlocked and on the podcast, he is also HR. And I hate when Rob comes to me and says, there's a new law out. There's a new law out. But we follow the law. Why? Because we ain't do all this work to build all this for y'all to say, well, you got the impact awards, but you're over there having impact by texting your assistant your dick. Me and my assistant do not engage in conversation outside of the work really ever. I mean, we maybe a little social here and there about this new love that he has that, whatever. Because he's an assistant that didn't have love that now has love, and he's taking vacation time. But even today, he's happy that he's off of vacation, like, because we love the work that we do. We're not going to compromise it by talking about racist dicks. Well, Lauren said that Ye soon promoted her to chief of staff of his multiple companies, offering her a salary of $4 million. That's a lot. $4 million.
That's nice.
Well, I'll say allegedly.
Allegedly.
But then was terminated in October 2022 and offered a severance package of $3 million, which she agreed to, but that Ye failed to pay. Well, Ye's lawyers called Lauren's claims baseless, accusing her of blackmail and extortion. And 4 months later, Lauren is now alleging that Ye has sexual obsessions and fantasizes about sleeping with the mothers of his targets, including his second wife and her mom. Now, on September 28, 2022, Lauren alleged that Ye boasted about a sexual conversation between him and Bianca, where he said he wanted to have sex with her mom, who was visiting Los Angeles from Australia. Now, let me be very clear. Lauren's lawsuit claims that Bianca wasn't Ye's wife yet, but rather his on-call sex party participant employee on the Yeezy LLC work visa from Australia. Now, Lauren says that Ye allegedly texts Bianca, I want to fuck your mom, before she leaves. And Ye allegedly sent Lauren a screenshot of the text and said, just took the toxicities up a level. He then allegedly asked Lauren if he should text Bianca and add, I want you to watch me fuck your mom.
Allegedly.
This is a lot of fucking going on. This is too much. Well, Ye allegedly texted Lauren Bianca's reaction that allegedly read, my mom's married and I'm going to fuck someone this weekend and tell you the next time you're inside me. Lauren also accused Ye of drugging and raping her at a party in Diddy's studio.
Allegedly.
She claimed that Ye handed her a drink and she started to feel disoriented and slipped into a highly impaired state. Now, she said that she felt less in control of her body and speech, and that that is where her memories of the night escape her. Now, Lauren believed that she escaped without being assaulted, but said that Ye allegedly admitted that they hooked up. Now, when she told him that she wanted to talk to his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, who allegedly believed they were having an affair in November 2022, Lauren alleged Ye confessed and told her not to ever contact the mother of his children. Now, in the lawsuit, Lauren alleges that the same claims against Ye as others have done with Diddy, and in that he alleged offered sexual. This is so much I can't. So much, y'all. I'm getting a headache because there's so many alleges in here. I'm just going.
Allegedly. 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 Allegedly, 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 allegedly.
Because nobody wants to get sued at this point, okay? Now, he allegedly offered his sexual partners, employees, and others trafficked women as gifts to his friends and colleagues. Oh, I know whose name getting ready to be thrown in there. I just thought of something. And this person is this close to Ye and fucked Lauren over, and they had this weird relationship. Ye hasn't responded to Lauren's new claims, but Bianca Sensory's mother, Alexandra, told the Daily Mail that she wouldn't be drawn into the latest claims and wanted privacy. Days later, Lauren spoke out about hateful comments that she's been receiving from a lot of Yeezy's fans. Now, look, this is what she said.
Okay, so typically I ignore stuff like this, but the hate I've been receiving lately has been overwhelming, And I understand that not everyone believes me, or, you know, not everyone likes me, and that's okay. Like, everyone is entitled to their opinion. However, I can't. I want to know, like, what's going through some of your heads when you type things like "go kill yourself" or "I hope your car crashes and sets on fire and you can't get your seatbelt off and you die a slow, painful death." Like, what's going through your mind when you're typing those things to me? I've never had a desire to write anything like that to anyone.
I don't know that it's fair to troll her online. I mean, this is between her and him. I think because he's a public figure, it's now out there. But this all came by way of her being deposed by Kanye's attorneys, who started disrespecting her in the deposition and making all these accusations to humiliate her. So she's like, "You want to go there? Let's go there." So now she's telling her truth. So is it something that Kanye? I mean, you asked for it.
Kind of, and it just feels like it's like all of these people who have endless money have become sexual deviants. I just don't get it. It's so crazy.
I feel like all of them just pay everybody off, but if he's not paying, then what she got to lose?
Meanwhile, here I am with all this money, just trying to find one person I could have sex with all the time. You know, like, God, you know, because as a city councilman, I ain't about to be dating a bunch of people and sleeping around. Can you imagine I had sex with the city councilman? Can you imagine me getting elected and then rolling around in the bed with somebody and they filming it and then it hits the news? Oh my God. Here's the deal. I really wouldn't care, because I don't care about anything that anybody has to say about me, because the things that I do, I put out there. The things that they've made up about me, it's annoying, but it's like, you guys are bored. While part of me would be like sitting back cackling at the scandal, I ain't finna give it to you, because I already said, once I win the city council, ain't finna be none of that. I ain't even doing it now. I'm not sexually active. I ain't drinking. You know, there's nobody that's gonna pull me into any drama. What I will say is I do find it interesting, because I'm not even as famous or popping for y'all to be doing it. Like, people that I've made out with posting videos of them making out. Don't nobody care about who lips this bit. They don't care. I'm not famous enough for nobody to care about where these lips have been. But I will say, you are not. Okay, let me stop joking, because I want to be serious for this. Hold on. Okay. In today's age, you're not famous unless you've raped, molested, or done something sick. Like, that's when you know you're getting famous, because those things start getting put out there. We are in a crisis of the culture right now, where the things that should be entertaining us, inspiring us, making us fall in love. Like, I want to be in love with Beyonce again. I want to be in love with Jay-Z's music. I want to think about suit and tie and not Justin Timberlake's DUI and whether or not this person beat this person or had sex with this person or this person raped their kids. And like, folks, I ran for office because I had to get to the purpose-driven work, because I fell out of love with the bullshit. We have to talk about it because it's out there, but we can some of y'all do some things that inspire us again so we can get to that? Like, shout out to Teddy Swims, whose music is phenomenal. Shout out to the Clark sisters, who are on tour with Yolanda Adams and Kirk Franklin and all the different gospel legends. Shout out to, who else who's doing something good? Yara Shahidi, who's out inspiring the world, or Idris Elba and his wife Sabrina, who are doing the Mile in My Shoes initiative with Christian Louboutin. Shout out to Cardi B, who is finally single and out here living her best life, and did. But there's just so much toxicity in the world. Have you seen it? Do you feel it?
It's dark. It's dark.
And I think we talked about this earlier. It's like, we want something positive to talk about. Like, somebody has to do something positive.
Please do something. But we did, because even I said before the show, like, is this show just negative? Because, like, I feel like we talk about a lot of negative things. Poor Tyra Banks, she popped up at the Victoria show, strutting down the thing, and y'all talked about all the pounds she picked up. Y'all are a mess. But they're also saying she deserved it because of how she used to talk to the girls back on the show, but that's what we did. The show, reality shows, that's what those, look, if I get a reality show where I'm a judge, I'm telling y'all right now, cancel me as soon as I launch, because I'm going to rip them down to the ground, because that's the tough love that y'all need. Coming out here singing like a dying cat, knowing damn well you should have stayed at home. Somebody need to tell you that, okay? Kanye, your face is exactly how we all looking at you right now with this story. Somebody around Kanye needs to tell him, go get the help that you deserve. Go get the help. The Bible says warning comes before destruction, and there's so many warning signs going on around the internet these days. Anyway, bye. We were almost out of here, y'all. We were almost out of here today. But there's no way that we can get out of here when this is constantly in our face. No pun intended. It's a new week and there's new lawsuits, okay? And new lawsuits have now been filed against Diddy, who's already facing over 120 accusers, mostly represented by Houston attorney Tony Busby. Now, one would argue he's an ambulance chaser and he's just doing this to get fame. Well, Busby has now announced 6 new lawsuits, 4 of which includes accusations from men, with one of the men being 16 at the time of the alleged incident. I'm going to just get the alleged.
Allegedly.
Now, in one lawsuit, a Jane Doe alleges that Diddy raped her as a 19-year-old college student. Now, this allegedly happened under the threat of violence in 2004. Now, at an after party at Diddy's Manhattan hotel, Diddy's entourage allegedly isolated and pressured the woman and her friend to consume alcohol and drugs before allegedly being raped. Now, the woman alleges that Diddy became increasingly aggressive, and once she undressed, he forced himself on her and began to sexually assault her. Well, he allegedly fondled, molested, and ultimately raped her. And while she was begging him to stop, now the woman said the security guard who brought them in heard their cries, opened the door, and asked if they were okay, at which point the friend fled the room. Now, the woman claims that she was unable to leave as Diddy was allegedly still on top of her.
Allegedly.
Diddy is also being accused of rape by a group of men. They're saying they encountered Diddy and 3 bodyguards at a Macy's stockroom in May of 2008. The man worked for Echo Clothing and alleged that he was struck in the neck with a firearm, causing him to fall on the ground, and that the Sean John creator allegedly took him to suck his dick before violently sexually assaulting him. Now, in another lawsuit, a man alleged that Diddy and other men raped him during a 2021 party. He claims he was sodomized by at least 3 men. Another suit claimed that a security guard was given a drink and then pushed into a van before he was sexually assaulted by Diddy. And another woman, Ashley Parham, claims that she met a friend of Diddy's at a bar in February of 2018, and on a later FaceTime call, she expressed her dislike for Diddy, even suggesting he had a role in Tupac's murder. And the men eventually invited her into his house. The men eventually invited her into his house, where Diddy allegedly popped up, put a knife to her face, and threatened to give her a Glasgow smile. She alleged that she was gangbanged and raped with a TV remote. I'm sorry, but my spirit is ready to go home. You know how you be at your job and you just ready to clock out and just be done for the day because that last client came in and just worked your last nerves? This is my last client of the day. Responding to the lawsuit, I'm just going to sum it up. Diddy says it's all a lie, and that Diddy's going to prevail and that all of the truth will come out. Now, responding to the lawsuit, of course, I'll just sum it up. Diddy saying it's all some lies. Now, Diddy's lawyers told TMZ in court the truth will prevail and that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anybody, adult or minor, man or woman, and said that they want the feds to reveal the names of all his accusers, claiming it's necessary for his defense. And I also heard that they've sealed the documents and sealed all the evidence. So they want this out so people can look at it all. And I think that we should be able to see it all. Again, you put your name on it. You put yourself out there to sue somebody or to take them down. You should put your name out there for people to see. Before we get into this any further, this is overwhelming and exhausting. What do you think?
I'm so tired of this, and I feel like there was a lot of comments being like, is this real? Is this not? The remote thing is fake, da-da-da. But I feel like it's like the boy who cried wolf. Like, I don't want to say like somebody's not telling the truth, but with all of his track record, it gives true.
And then you look at what's happening to Kanye's old assistant. So if you put these people's names out, like eventually all that's going to happen is his fans are going to attack those people and make their life a living hell. So it's like, I don't know. It's just so difficult because like we talked about this before. I think there is going to be a ton of people who come out and lie, but within those ton of people, there's going to be some who tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you wish you could just blink and wake up and none of this is happening? It's just too much. It's too much in the sense that there's all these people who allegedly have gone through trauma. Or there's allegedly all the people who are creating non-truths into drama and trauma. Then there's Diddy's children who all have their own lives and brands and who are all paralyzed by this experience that they have nothing to do with unless they were involved, which I don't know yet that I've heard that they are. Then there's all the staff who lost their jobs or the network who went through. I mean, there's just so much fallout from all of this madness that in many ways, I'm praying that it's not true for the victims or true for I just want it all to go away, but it ain't. Okay? Because no matter what happens, even if you just talk about it these days, like this conversation, it goes viral. You know, like Bow Wow. He's now catching heat because he told Roxy, hey, Roxy, how much he misses the Diddy parties and how all of the allegations have killed the celebrity party scene. Now, before I show you what he said, Lil Bow Wow, Lil Wow Wow, Lil Shad Moss, you know we know each other. It's too soon. It is, read the room. French Montana has read the room and he has left the library. You can't find French Montana nowhere. People are dodging me like the plague right now because they know the questions that I'm going to ask. Well, we got to. That's what we got to do. But Bow Wow, read the room. This is the wrong time. You should be talking about the fact that Freaknik, the destination for all the culture to go to, was happening in your backyard. And we want to know from So Def who was at the Freaknik getting freaky. Because some of y'all had baby oil in the bushes. Okay? Well, Bow Wow, talk to Roxy and Baby. When I tell you, y'all lit Lil Bow ass up. This is what he said.
But when your big homies are also not the right impression or doing bad too, do you get nervous when you see all the takedowns that are happening right now in the industry?
Me? No. I'm nervous.
How do you feel about it?
I think it's a very, very messed up situation. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like it's crazy. Like for me, I know I haven't seen anything to like hit the news that, as far as like our industry, that made me feel some type of way like for 3 days straight. Like I can't, like nah, I would have never thought it would. If it is the end, this would be the story of how it would end. It ain't supposed to end like this. Mm-hmm. Like for me thinking on it, bruh, supposed to be on a 250-foot yacht with his wife, leg up, chilling. This how you ride it out. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of us probably never thought that we would see this. But for me, it's like, it's just unreal. Like it seems unreal at times. I know me and Jermaine, we spoke about it, and I'm just like, I would never thought that we would see him in this position, ever.
Even with all the rumors that have always circulated.
Never. Just never thought I'd see it like this. Like, nah. He's like the gatekeeper to the game, to the point to where, what weekend just passed? Like BET Award weekend, it didn't, like the past two, they just didn't feel right. Because there was no motion, there was no parties. There was nowhere to go. Like,
let's be very specific between like, parties and freak-offs.
No, the industry, like the parties that we attend, like there's me, you, the Terraces,
I left before one. I never stayed. I've only been to 2 parties and like, I've never seen a freak-off.
Yeah, like, but it shows, and once again, I'm separating it, right? I'm talking about him as the artist, the person, right?
Bow, I know what you're trying to say. We've all been to the Diddy parties. I dropped the list on TikTok. Hey, TikTok. We've all been to Diddy parties. So there's no need to shame people who go to Diddy parties. But right now, who even wants to party right now? Like, I don't even want to be around nobody because it's really weird. So what you're trying to say is the scene has been impacted by what's happening And the culture has been impacted because one of the people who's been a cultural icon for all of us that have watched him from a promoter at Howard University all the way up into being, you know, the brand that he is, and the person that gave the Jason Lee show its legs on Revolt, he's going through a storm. Now, some can say, oh, this is nothing but Diageo, who allegedly hired people to destroy him because of the lawsuit. That theory's out there, just like the theory's out there that he killed his baby mom, Kim Porter. So I understand what you're trying to say. It's just not the right time. Like, it's not the time to talk about partying when his kids are out here trying to defend their dad or protect their dad, and then the dad is in prison, and then the victims are victiming, and then the lawyers are out here lawyering. I mean, like, right now is not the time. We're not thinking about parties. And I hear Roxy jokingly trying to absolve herself of any knowledge, because I'm doing the same thing every time I turn around. Even on my Facebook, somebody said, are we going to elect somebody who's been to the Diddy parties? We all been to the Diddy parties. I just didn't have the baby oil, and I didn't have the dildos. I wasn't in that party. That's the Diddy After Dark, allegedly, because, again, I don't even know about that party. But there are a lot of you that were really close to Puff that have been very silent, like Naomi Campbell. Naomi Campbell's name, Naomi. I know we don't know each other. I met you one time, loved you, but your name is coming up. And the things they're saying, Naomi, I don't want to get into gossip, but, you know, you've been silent. You've distanced yourself from Brother Love when you were Sister Love. And those of you who are close, because a lot of the industry is watching my podcast now, because y'all know I told y'all if something happened to me, call Jay-Z. But in all fairness and, like, you know, whatever, and Jay-Z hasn't threatened me, by the way. I want to put that out there. I know how to make the internet go viral. I just be talking, but hey, Jay, you still ain't called them. Naomi Campbell was, and I'm getting lots of phone calls about things that they say you that you may have been involved in. Mary J. Blige has been quiet. French Montana's been quiet. There's a lot of y'all that were close that y'all ain't said nothing. Who's gonna draw? It's like an episode of Power. Who's gonna fall next? Do you feel it? Do you feel it?
Yes. I think everybody's just trying to stay as far away from the conversation as possible.
Not me. I want to get in it. I want to be in the conversation because I want to know the answers. I want to know who's going down for calling the parent of a 9-year-old and getting them to the house, if that happened. I want to know the security guard who closed the door and locked it while there was somebody in there screaming that they were being raped. I want to know the names. I want to know the birth dates. I want to know their blood type. I want to know where they live. I want to know their jobs. I want to know everything. I want to know it all. Just like we had to watch the O.J. Simpson trial and the Menendez brothers. I want to watch it all because it's not fair that Diddy is in there by himself. As somebody who survived it, being molested, everybody related to it all should be going down. Who dropped their kid off at the airport at 16 to get on a plane to go see Diddy? Or 17? What? Anyway. Bow Wow, I know you're in trouble, but you also did the fake flight on the fake jet, and you survived that, so you'll bounce back. You'll be fine. Well, Aoki Lee Simmons, the daughter of Russell Simmons, who had his own issues with things that led him to go to Bali so he can sit Indian style and pray every day, and the daughter of Kimora Lee Simmons, who had the baby fat jacket that they said was, you know what they said about the baby fat jacket. Well, she's begging the public to have mercy on Diddy's children because, like me, she believes like they're innocent kids who shouldn't be dragged into this. Look.
What do I think about Diddy? I think his daughters and children are such wonderful people, and I really hope you guys treat them with love and respect because they're nice kids. And it's not their fault that anything adults, that's adult business, and they are not adults. My little cousins, they are in school. They are not adults. So please treat them like children. That's all I ask.
She got her parents' genes for real. She looked like her mama and her daddy. I like the fact that she's speaking up for them, right?
Yeah, like her own generation. She's like the advocate for them. So it was nice to see. I like it.
What do you think?
I don't think they're children.
They're his children.
Well, she said they're children.
His 3 girls are children. His
Yes,
4
yes,
girls. He has
yes.
4 girls. He has the 2 twins.
Yes.
The twins who went through the loss of their mom. The other daughter from the other woman. She ain't too far from age in the girls. And then the baby girl. Those are young girls.
Those are the girls,
okay.
yes.
So now we ain't going to treat the boys different than the girls, are we?
No, I'm just saying I'm not blanketly saying anybody's innocent. I'm not trying to.
The girls don't know nothing about what their daddy was doing.
Yes, the little girls know.
Okay, so what she just said was give them grace. They're kids.
Well, I thought she was talking about all of the kids, and there are allegations about some of the boys. And that's why I'm like, I don't know until people get their time in court.
We are in a country where you are innocent until proven guilty.
Correct. But
now we're talking about somebody who's guilty because he had 500 dildos, 1,000 bottles of lubricant and baby oil and freak-offs. Rescue me, Lord. I don't know. Either way, Diddy deserves his day in court. May not come till May of 2025, which means he has to stay in jail until then. He ain't going to be around nobody, so he ain't going to have no fun.
It's Cinco de Mayo, his trial.
On Cinco de Mayo?
Yep. And the Met Gala. That's what they were saying.
Si se puede? Anyway, I send in love to the kids and, prayers for everybody involved. Get him off my screen. I saw King Combs liked the post where we talked about his dad. And, I can only imagine, and I don't ever want to know how it feels to be under that level of a microscope. Everywhere you go, everybody knows your name, not Cheers. And everybody that sees you has their opinion. Mm-hmm. And then you don't know who around you is going to say what. You don't know what the next shoe to drop is. The anxiety level has to be high. And then who's paying all the bills? I mean, I'm sure Diddy's still paying the bills, right?
I don't know how that's working.
Anyway, can you culture, not Cardi's kid, the culture. Please do something positive this week. We want to talk about something positive. I'm praying that next week's show is all positive. I did read the comments about what y'all said about Tyra, though. Y'all are a mess. Social media is just the most reckless highway. Like, think about it. I've never in my whole life gone to a person's Instagram with the intent to say something mean. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Never. Not one time. I've never gone to somebody's Instagram and said, I hate you, I hope you die, or you're fat, or I've never done that. I go on my show and give my opinion about the culture, and if you watch my old podcast, I had big opinions. And there's nothing wrong with going on your platform and having an opinion, but go to somebody else's page to say something. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. It's time for some thoughts and prayers. With 3 weeks left until the 2024 election, do you know who you're voting for? And you better not say Dementia Don. Or should we say Discriminatory Don? For years, Trump has shown us how he feels about black people and black men specifically. Just ask the Central Park Five. They are now the exonerated five, but if Trump had it his way, they'd be the executed five. And in the late 80s, this man took out a full-page ad calling for the execution of 5 innocent black and Latino men. Over 3 decades ago, Trump told you what he thought of black and Latino men, innocent or not. And over 3 decades later, his feelings for black men have not changed. Oh, and what about the stimmies? Kamala already told you that he lied. Don't be fooled by Donnie or that girl from Love Island. When people show you who they are, people, believe them. I know sometimes it's hard to believe what's real and what's fake, especially with all these allegations flying around. But when multiple people start claiming the same thing and patterns start forming, it's kind of hard to ignore certain things. R. Kelly is in prison, facing 50 years in prison, convicted of sexual misconduct. So is it too far-fetched to believe that his daughter was also a victim? I mean, he is convicted. Meanwhile, Diddy's on trial with cases mounting, and Kanye follows with his own set of allegations. Now, these two men have not yet been convicted of anything, so we must let the justice system take its course and not let the public opinion rule. So until the court speaks, we'll just keep following along case after case. And next week, I'm sure we'll have another update. My soul is exhausted. That is it for this episode of the Jason Lee Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, make sure you keep up with us on all social media. You can follow Hollywood Unlocked, the Jason Lee Show. You can even follow District 6 if you want to see me over there kicking that political culture's ass. Just make sure you follow, download this podcast everywhere it streams. And if you want to talk to me directly or indirectly, text me 310-388 6463. Again, the number is 310-388-6463. Exhaustion. This is the only way to describe this podcast today. Do you want to leave out anything positive? Anything you want people to know?
Yes. The election's coming up, and make sure you vote all the way down the ballot. So vote for your local politicians too, like Jason, if you're in Stockton. So make sure you vote for all the way down the ballot and vote for the measures that matter for you too, because there's a lot that affect your day-to-day life.
Local government matters. Do your research.
Folks, and if you're not registered yet, you can still register to vote. You can go down to your local registrar's office. You can register and vote right there. Please do it. This election is so important. Y'all want a Cheeto in charge, or y'all want the black woman? It's up to you. Black and yellow? Oh, black and orange. Anyway, I'm out, y'all. Peace.
The Jason Lee